Today's topic, the role of ketones. Do they play a role in a low-carb or ketogenic type of diet? Should you measure them? When should you not measure them? What do they tell us? And I think again we have Dr. Westman here to give us the lowdown. So, fire away.
Well, ketones are just energy molecules. They've gotten a bad rap because we've been taught that you shouldn't have them in the blood, and that if you have too much, you have ketoacidosis, so a little must be bad as well. But that's not true. So there's a new term called nutritional ketosis, which really just means fat burning. And when you're trying to lose weight, that's what you want to do, is burn fat. So ketosis is just the substitution of certain energy molecules for glucose. And it happens automatically when you eat a low carb or a keto diet. So it's nothing to be feared.
So is there a preferable amount of ketones that we should be producing? Is there a minimum? Is there a maximum? I know that when I heard your lecture yesterday, you actually went in a little bit more into why nutritional ketosis in a otherwise not a type 1, for example, why it was almost impossible to get into ketoacidosis.
Right. Well, so there are a lot of protections that we have to make sure that there is not acidosis. If you have a little bit of insulin around, you're not going to have ketoacidosis. The levels are low compared to ketoacidosis. But to your point, no one knows the best level of ketosis. In fact, the studies are now being done to describe the different levels under certain conditions, and it's not as high as it was thought before, especially with diabetes.
You mean the preferable
the blood level, for example. Yeah. So a lot of people are measuring the blood, the breath, the urine, ketones, thinking more is better, and we don't know that for sure, because when you check a blood level or a breath level or urine level, it's not telling you how much is going through the body. It's just telling you the amount at a given moment. And if you're using ketones really well, you might not build up much in the blood. So I find that measuring ketones is just kind of confusing at the moment. So I teach an approach where I pretty much know everyone's in ketosis, and that is keeping the carbs under 20 total carbs per day. And then as long as the hunger's gone, you're losing weight, losing inches, you know that person's in ketosis.
So just to recap, it's not a particular number that we're after. It's not a case of more is better. It's simply a case that you would use ketone measurements as a tool to see if you are sticking under the 20 grams of total carbs per day. Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about? What about exogenous ketones? Do you have any thoughts on this? I know there's a lot of companies selling exogenous ketones. We don't want to bash any company. Right, but so what are your thoughts on that?
Well, exogenous ketones meaning you drink them.
Correct.
Or
ketone esters.
Right. So exogenous means outside and endogenous means inside. So exogenous ketones, they might play a role. It's too early to tell. The studies are just being done now to know for sure. I haven't been recommending any kind of exogenous ketones. So I know that you don't need them to get into ketosis, but they might be helpful. I'd say it's too early to know. Okay. Another important issue that I see is that many people will measure their ketones and come to me and say, look, I'm in ketosis, why am I not losing weight, right? So ketosis doesn't mean you're going to be losing weight necessarily, or losing fat mass. All it means, ketosis, is that you're a fat burner. So if you're eating as much fat as you're burning, you're not going to access your onboard pantry, your fat store. So you want to be careful about eating or consuming too much energy in the source of fat. So ketosis doesn't mean weight loss. It just means fat burning.
Is there a cause for concern if you are, for example, producing too much ketones? Not ketoacidosis to that level, but let's say, for example, we know that if you're measuring blood ketones, you are officially considered in ketosis at 0.5. And what happens if you go to 5, for example? Does that mean that something is happening within our bodies, that maybe we're eating too much fat? Is there anything that plays into that?
I don't think we know the answer to that yet. And the range of the definition of ketosis is going to change as more and more information becomes available. So I kind of de-emphasize, I don't want people to focus too much on the ketone itself, focus on healthy foods, keeping the carbs low, and it works pretty much all the time.
Well, again, very, very informative. If you found this video informative or helpful, please will you share this video. We need your help in getting the information out there to as many people as we possibly can. We thank you for your support, and please subscribe down below. Thank you so much.